Today we're coming at you with a build that utilizes a few of the brand new items that made their way into the game with Season of the Witch. Now this build focuses all of its power into endless grenades for Strand Hunter that allows you to output really high amounts of damage with just a fusion rifle turned grenade launcher. You see, the best builds in Destiny are both strong and fun to play, and this one merges those two together perfectly. So we're starting off using Strand for this build. You've got complete freedom with your abilities here. Marksman dodge is always nice because of the reload speed for the exotic we're going to be using is a bit slow. But getting that free melee back with Gambler's Dodge is also nice because it pairs with the gameplay loop of this build. So it's really your personal preference here. Now your grenade also doesn't matter, as we'll be using Mothkeeper's Wraps, which replaces your chosen grenade entirely. Our aspect for this build is Widow's Silk, which will be giving us an extra grenade charge. And Rolling Maelstrom, where destroying a tangle will weave a violent, writhing mass of strand fibers. Now this strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it defeats them. Now for Fragments, you're going to want Thread of Propagation, where power melee final blows grant your strand weapons unraveling rounds. Thread of Transmutation, which will create a tangle on weapon final blows while you have Woven Mail. Thread of Warding, which will give you Woven Mail when you pick up an orb. And Thread of Generation, for essentially free constant grenade energy when you're dealing damage. Yes, I do know that it got nerfed, but it's still a great fragment. Now onto our exotic weapon, the pay to win, the pre-order exotic fusion rifle for Final Shape, the Tessellation. Now no lying, this thing is very unique, and it started off much stronger than what Quicksilver Storm started off last year. But it's not just this weapon's aesthetic that's so unique, it's its exotic traits. Bungie really wants your pre-order money here, and they're bringing the heat with another powerful, one-of-a-kind gun. First off, the trait Property Irreducible states that you can hold reload to consume your grenade to load a large projectile that generates an elemental explosion on impact. It essentially turns this fusion rifle into a heavy grenade launcher for a single shot, at the cost of only a single grenade charge. Now, if only there was a way to get infinite grenades. Hint. Now, a single Tessellation grenade shot deals 145,000 damage versus good old Coral here. For reference, as far as damage goes, Gjallarhorn does only 10,000 more damage. Hothead does 30,000 less damage than Tessellation's grenade shot, and those are rocket launchers. Now, if you have grenade regeneration, you can basically have two weapons that both deal heavy damage numbers with Tessellation, and whatever heavy you want to use. It's dishing out really good damage, guys. We'll also be rocking two Strand Surge mods with this build, which puts the damage versus Carl at roughly 170,000 damage. Now, we haven't even mentioned its other exotic traits, Property Undesignable, which makes this weapon adapt its damage time to match your equipped subclass, and final blows grant grenade energy. It's so interesting. It's like Bungie took reverse osmosis and combined it with Demolitionist. But the point is, Tessellation as a strand weapon will benefit from Thread of Propagation, giving it unraveling rounds on power melee final blows, and then dealing damage with Tessellation will give you grenade energy on top of the grenade energy you get from just dealing damage thanks to Thread of Generation. Just these combinations result in really good grenade regeneration without even adding on the other regen methods we have for this build. Now what helps with this grenade uptime even more is our exotic armor piece, Mothkeeper's Wraps. Now this is a new exotic added this season, but they change your grenade into a cage of loyal moths that can provide overshields or detonate and blind enemies. But what this exotic for some reason doesn't mention is that it also gives you an extra grenade charge. But you be slacking on the descriptions here. So Mothkeepers gives you an additional grenade charge, and Widow Silk gives you another extra grenade charge, both stacking with each other here, giving you a total of 3 grenades. So while Mothkeeper's perk is really nice, and you can use the grenade as it's intended, for this build, we're solely using this exotic for a 3rd grenade charge, so that we have more grenades to consume into Tessellation. Now before we jump into the mod selection, I want to quickly go over artifact mods that you can add in this season. This is still going to be a good build even next season, but these definitely amp it up. First, we have Thanatonic Tangles, which give Tessellation the chance to create tangles. Communal Pickups is also very nice here, as it gives you a bonus to Tessellation's damage when an ally destroys or picks up one of your tangles. So if you're playing with blueberries, that's pretty often. Refreshing Pickups will grant energy to your least powered ability when you pick up a tangle. And then we have Monochromatic Maestro, which will give your abilities a 10% bonus to damage when you deal matching weapon damage and vice versa. We also have Elemental Embrace for more damage resist and recovery when you have subclass elemental buffs, and in our case, Woven Mail. Even Elemental Munitions here could be great here for special ammo generation, as it adds the a chance for special and heavy ammo drops when you get combatant final blows with your tangles. Lots of options here, guys. Play it how you want. Now, as for our mod setup, you're gonna need special ammo finder and harmonic siphon in your helmets. We'll need special ammo because if you don't have any ammo for Tessellation, well, you're not gonna be consuming your grenade into the gun. You need ammo. Harmonic siphon is here so that we can generate orbs with Tessellation. Slotted in Mothkeepers, we've got double impact induction for reduced grenade cooldown after causing damage with a melee, as well as heavy-handed to give us orbs on those melee kills. Now, in our chest piece, slot whatever resist mods, which depends on the activity you're running. For our boots, we have 2 Strand Surge mods for that 17% increase in damage for Tessellation, and Innervation for more grenade cooldown reduction. Now, for our class item, we have Time Dilation for a longer armor charge duration, Bomber for that grenade cooldown reduction when we use our class ability, and Special Ammo Finisher for those rare occasions we run out of Tessellation ammo. Now, what is the gameplay loop? It's really simple. You want to start by getting a kill with your powered melee. This will generate an orb thanks to heavy-handed, and also grant Tessellation unraveling rounds thanks to threat of propagation. Picking up that orb will give you woven mail and Strand weapon search ×2. Now Tessellation has that 17% damage buff, and you've got 3 grenade charge thanks to Mothkeeper's wraps and Widow's silk. And you're gonna load each grenade into Tessellation. Now once you fire off that shot, whether that's into a group of ants or a boss, you will get grenade energy back thanks to threat of generation, solely because it only requires you to deal damage. The Tessellation shot will explode on impact, dealing tons of damage, clearing out ants easily, and on top of that, unraveling. Then getting that kill while you have woven mail will create a tangle thanks to threat of transmutation. So as long as you score a single kill with a Tessellation grenade shot, you will have a tangle present to now interact with. You could pick up the tangle, you could shoot it, but remember guys, you've got rolling maelstrom, so if you destroy that tangle, you've got that Strand tornado that will generate and track enemies for you, damaging and unraveling all at the same time. It's such a fun aspect. Now you can swap weapons to destroy the tangle, or if it's near enemies, load up another grenade Tessellation shot and fire it off near the tangle, and the explosion is sure to destroy the tangle at the same time as you're killing enemies with Tessellation's explosion. Now you've got these Strand tornadoes dealing damage for you, which are by the way generating grenade energy as you're off dealing your own damage, generating even more grenade energy. Orbs are reducing your grenade cooldown, melee damage is reducing your grenade cooldown, even dodging is reducing your grenade cooldown. Now I know this may be grenade regeneration overkill, but we want our grenades up at all time so that we can keep beating Tessellation non-stop, consuming our grenade, firing that shot, shooting the tangle, and then repeat. Using your other abilities when you need to, and using a finisher to generate special ammo if you run out. You've also got a decent super with Silk Strike, so don't forget about that. And at any point you just want to use the moths themselves, by all means guys, you can. Like if you're just completely out of ammo or something, or if you're just trying to give yourself an overshield, use the moths. Now I do want to bring up the fact that this build with Tessellation is only going to grow once Final Shape releases, especially when we get that catalyst. Remember how Quicksilver Storm was last year? This time last year, no one was really that impressed with it, but it got stronger and stronger, and look where it is now. Literally one of the best weapons inside of PvE. I think Tessellation is definitely going to go that route. So guys, if you're interested in this build, a dim link will be down below. Let me know in the comments below what you think. For my Titans and Warlocks, don't worry, I'm looking to make a few other builds. I know, we're like back-to-back hunter builds right now. If you haven't checked out our last hunter build, check it out though. It's a juicer. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.